on how they are going about doing certain things. So we're going to deal with that. Any more questions? We're going to get into this. This lecture here is dedicated completely to melanin. I have gone, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to try to take everything we can know about melanin, the mysteries of it, and put it on one tape. You see what I'm saying? So what's that?
You know, I was just sitting here and my mind was just, like you were saying, reflecting on all the information that's come to me. I truly believe now that I have been placed in a situation where I have a real clear concept of what's going on. Can I share this with you just a minute?
Yeah.
Remember I told you the company I work for, they have done extensive work on melanin. And that's the one that Mona Harris was involved with. Okay. One of the main things that's like a burden on me is the pineal gland. And she understood that when this gland does not secrete two types of hormones, you become depleted in your immune system as well as your spirituality and ability to reason. Now you know about the noni juice.
Yeah.
The noni juice, which comes from the Polynesian Islands. I was just over there. Listen to this. I was just over there, and my eyes were just open because over there the French have really taken over. But there were so many pyramids there, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I kept telling my husband, that looks like a pyramid because we were able to live in those huts off the Pacific, I guess it's the Pacific Ocean. And we were able to see all these people, but they were covered with, like you say, trees and landscape. Now let me tell you an experience I had. We went on a tour, and we went up to this waterfall, which means that you had to climb up. Let me tell you what happened, Bobby. When I went up to that, we got to the top. It was a struggle for me to get up there. I was just exhausted. But once I got up there, and that waterfall came down, guess what? My energy level went up to, it was unreal. So there is a connection because you got to remember, the people that run that company are they're Mormons. So when you connect Mormon with more, there's a connection.
Well, you know, they even said that when they said that one of their founders, or two of their founders was they say African American, and they talk about El Morey and the Moors. Hakeem Bey has done work on that, and the whole Mormon thing. The whole Mormon thing based on that. And I'm more inclined, you can't take this stuff and sweep it under the rug because there's more and more information coming out in America based on things. Now, let me show you, like, take for instance. So it's interesting because all that stuff is connected. Like, take for instance, they came on the History Channel and did a special on the Louisiana Purchase, which basically gave you the rest of America almost, all the way up into Canada, the Louisiana Purchase. And they said the Louisiana Purchase came about based on a little island in the Caribbean called Haiti. You know, France owned all of that up into Canada. France sent their generals and stuff down to Haiti to contain the war. Unfortunately, by Haiti, although Haiti won the war, and it was a combination of the voodoo, the fist fighting, the slave know-how, and yellow fever. They lost, Napoleon lost the best generals that he had, he lost in Haiti. And that's when his defeat started coming from Russia, and later on led to Waterloo, is because the best generals he had, they sent to Haiti, and all of them died. He gets desperate because they need money, and they go, and goddamn it, sell what the hell you can sell. And therefore, America gets the Louisiana Purchase for some ridiculous sum, which is nothing, just like the whole New York thing. They basically gave it away, but they gave it away based on one, and they said, because there was one enigma in this whole thing with Napoleon, the island of Haiti crippled Napoleon in there. So here it is, they're coming out with all this particular information now. You see what I'm saying? All this particular information now. Now they even coming out with a thing on the goddamn book on how the Chinese came over here and discovered America before the white man. Now we know that the black though, we got the old man, that's the whole thing. You get the movie The Road to El Dorado. which might I add, because I'm not all from the melanin. It's a little cartoon movie, and in the movie they go in a little cave, and they got the Olmec heads right in the doggone movie. The Olmec heads. And in there, but the city of El Dorado and the city of gold. Here it goes again, it's like the Hall of Records. They learned of a city of El Dorado and a city of gold that they never found, because the city of gold and the city of El Dorado was a mystical city. It is like the upper room is the pineal gland and the gold of the gods and all that stuff with the melanin.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? With the melanin. And it's a mystical thing that they took literal. El Dorado means melanin, and the city of melanin. I always wonder why I love them down the El Dorado Cadillac. Especially the one from the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Now, but they had the Olmec heads up in there, so this particular stuff is actually coming out. So, but then again, on the other hand, like the pyramids, so they got a whole thing of the Chinese. They got Chinese faces that George Washington and them found in the Potomac River when they was crossing the Delaware. They found Chinese bases, so they come to find out the Chinese discovered America before them. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole book out on how the Chinese discovered America down there 40 years before they did. So this stuff is actually coming. There's a new book out on something about the black man's, a new book out put out by a white guy on the African origins of America. You see what I'm saying? So all of that stuff is all connected. Any more questions before I go into the...
When you speak of the pineal and the secretion of the melanin, what is its relationship to the pituitary gland?
The pituitary gland is like the mother. The pineal gland secretes the melanin. The pituitary gland is what regulates the melanin throughout the body. You see, and it is in relationship to each other. Like Horus would be the pineal gland. Isis or Aset, the mother, would be the pituitary gland. Which is interesting because I got some dynamite information that we're going to go into right now. I'm going to pour a libation. Give me one more glass of water. Hold on 1 minute. Go to this restroom. Give me one more glass of water. We're going to pour the libations. And then we're going to start this thing off.
You got started.
Okay. Still rolling, right? All right. Okay. I announced this the last time I was here. I think the time before that you have melanin implants that they're now doing with a place called Epitan, which they're implanting melanin in white folks that give them this particular whole melanin thing for suntan reasons and all of this type of stuff. And so they have this thing going on. And it's just more and more stealing our stuff, or stealing our particular melanin, and the type of research that they're dealing with now, because they can get that kind of melatonin or whatever to be able to implant it, and some kind of way put some type of implant in the body, and it secretes melanin in the skin. There's just more and more stuff of the Nazi doctors or the Frankenstein doctors and different stuff that they're actually dealing with. I want to go into an origin right now of just exactly what is melanin on a particular aspect on a primordial level. There was a book that came out. See, there's a red book right there. Yeah, you got your hand on. Give me that book there. There's a book that came out in 2001. It's called The Secret Teachings by GINDJAB. GENEKIFFER. And a few people got one. Me, a brother here. Who's first? Who called me that? Alvin, brother named Alvin Pride got it. I called Lativa, a couple other people got it. You got this? Did you ever get it? Sister Fanny, a couple of people. I called Charles Finch to get it. And it's a book called The Secret Teachings. The reason why this book had a dust cover that was such a ridiculous dust cover because it got a big old white woman on with a big old white dress. It was just so horrible looking to it. I took mine off and I know a T-book. He took his off too. I said, I see he couldn't deal with the cover also. GINDJAB, The Secret Teachings, in this big book here, this is the guy that was inspired by Gerald Massey, which is one of the few people that still uses Massey. And so and it had this big ridiculous cover on it. And the book was only like $29 or $30. $35 for almost 600 pages or something like that. Secret Teachings, yeah, which was an excellent price. But the key here is there's a section in this particular book, and I should have went and marked it, but I think I can find it. There's a section in this particular book that they show two things, and all this stuff is connected. We put all this stuff together. There's a section in this book, outside of him, dealing with Gerald Massey, there's a section in this particular book where he has a picture of what is called the blood of Tiamat. It's the blood of Tiamat. And I was putting together this stuff and all, I should have. And I had the book and stuff, but I didn't think about it till I got up here. And luckily he had one. But there's a section in here on the blood of Tiamat. And they show this medallion or something of the ancient world of her blood. And in her blood is these thousands of little grippies or dogs that look like Anubis figures or canine figures within the blood. This explains a couple of things because this also explains something a bit about melanin. Now you want to go get the, and also melanin being the devil that they're talking about, the double, here it is on page 121. I'm going to pass this around and I want to see, you have a way that you can zoom in?
Oh, yeah.
If you get the second omen, that's the second one, part 2. And they took some
On the part number 2?
the number 2. The third one was hell. That's when he grew up. But the first one was when he was a baby. The second one when he was a teenager.
Okay,
That one. And they took some of his blood.
Yeah.
And when they say his blood is that of canine.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see how well you can zoom in. And then we might pass this around for you to see this thing.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. In this medallion here is all these little dogs, little canine dogs. That's also the Anubis figure. And in that those canine dogs and all that you see here, they say that's the blood of Tiamat. Now Tiamat being a form of the great mother that was overthrown, and her body was used to make the earth and the ocean. And her husband was overthrown, Kingu, his blood was used to make man. You see, so we have it here. That's page 121 in GINDJAB's book, The Secret Teachings. This is the same guy that wrote a book called Kundalini for a New Age, where he says there's devices in the body that will come online whenever our race is seeming to go dormant or facing destruction. So they already know. Well, who are they talking about, first of all? You might want to pass this around, just show it. You look at the little dogs. Who are they talking about? Well, obviously they're killing black people all over the planet. And obviously they're killing black people here in America. So apparently the people that they are careful of are conscious black people. They said, now GINDJAB's book, The Kundalini of a New Age, says that there are devices that is in the body that will come online and protect or destroy whatever is about to kill it or whatever is about to make it in danger. So obviously they're not talking about dead black people out here, because they kill them a dime a dozen, and obviously they're not talking like 2 lectures or 1 lecture a month enough to get the rent up. And basically, you know, so my woman, she get the food up, and we good to go, you know, no more, no less, you know. And so rent is due tomorrow, which because on the weekend, I have to pay till Monday, so I scheduled a lecture around this time. It fell perfect, so. And basically that's it. A little bit left over. And we deal just like that. So, I usually don't carry a lot of books. Well, I used to carry a lot, but it started to keep me down in the airport, so. But since I had a car, I went and carried some, you know. Came up in me in like a late 70s or 80s cutlass with the vinyl on, tore off the side and shit. But basically, my brother, he paid $3,000 for 89 Jaguar. Now, $3,000 for 89 Jaguar, I think he drove it like, what, 3 weeks. And the best car they got is this cutlass here. This thing here runs just like a Mercedes. It was closed, you see. So it worked out perfect, you know. So it came on down. So what we're going to deal with tonight, first of all, let me get a list. Okay, I have an ancient document. I'm going to give it to the sister and she can pass them out to the people that want to get them. I have an ancient document from some information, from some Hermetic information that came out of the Library of Alexandria, but it's about 5,000 years old in the written word. And so it's a 5,000-year-old document talking about how we were going to go into slavery. And it goes, the Egyptians knew, or the Canaanites knew we was going to go into slavery 5,000 years before it happened. So we have this particular document because they put out the actual books for like $50 for 3-volume set in '92, but nobody got it, you know, because it was $50 so black people didn't buy it, so therefore, you know, it went out of print. But anyway, I was able to get a hold to, because there's different translations of it, but I was able to get a hold to one translation. So we produced a document on this some Hermetic stuff, and it goes into how, and I'll read it, how we will be in this land, and our bodies would be Egyptians or Canaanite or African or what have you, but our minds would be of another race, and how we would be thieves and rogues and, you know, hoes and pimps and all that basically. And it's one of the most profound documents and all, because even though you have prophecy, like Bible prophecy is hit or miss, because a lot of it is symbology, and a lot of it, you know, we have so many interpretations of stuff that might not necessarily be, but this is just straight out, they just straight, you know, deal with that. So we have that particular document for $2 for the people that need it. We probably got about enough for the room and all. And I have another document. I don't usually sell stuff, but I just figured that this particular stuff is very important. We have another document coming from Australia. A guy did some information from Australia in 1985, and it was banned from this country. So we just now received it in June. There's some stuff where it was the information that came out of the Conference of Nicaea. We just thought that they took the missing books out of the Bible, but in actuality, the ancient biblical text was all dealing with 2 races of people. So there was so much information about 2 different races of people, one good and one evil. And so they had to deal with taking that particular information out in the Conference of Nicaea. So the brother, I didn't say the brother, he's actually a white boy from Australia, introduced this particular information in 1985, and actually, so we just not get it in the country now. So I have the actual document here for $2. This is like $1 a page, so that's, you know, whatever, and also we run off so much or whatever and all. But anyway, so we have that document for the people that need it two races of beings. I'm going to go through some of this also tonight also. Also, we're going to give out, for the people who didn't receive the money ritual, the one from Haiti. How many people got that from the one from Haiti? The one with parchment paper. Okay, so that mass of the people in here don't have it. So we got the money rituals, 2 money rituals and all, but there's one that just to get you, get food on your table, like weekly, if you need a little bit of money. And then there's some for serious financial problems. So a sister went over to Haiti in 96. Was it 96? Yeah. End of 96, and got it, brought it back here, and charged people $100 to get it. She charged them $100 to get in, and she gave it out. So basically, I've been giving it out basically for free, or basically for whatever people charge to come to the lecture. So we're going to give that particular one out. I think you need that one for financial scrapes. And a lot of people have done it, and it works. Well, I haven't done it at all. Because I don't know, I'm hard-headed. But most of the people who actually did the actual, the ritual actually came out real good. And this is, so one is for just basically for petty cash, and you can do it every Monday, the one for petty cash, just to keep afloat. The other one is for serious financial burden. So we're going to give out both of those particular ones tonight also too. We're going to give out those particular ones tonight also too. Basically, with that in mind, also, a lot of people ask for a list because they want polarization, and they ask for an actual list to actually deal with that. So we have a good list compiled, a list compiled with various deities and all, and I think we're going to deal with that one tonight also too. Also, I have and I don't know if somebody might have got this last time, but I also have a document where Elijah Muhammad predicted both AIDS and cloning. So I think I gave some of those out, so we have some of those documents for people that need that too. That particular document, he predicted AIDS and cloning somewhere in the 1950s. Anyway, they call the people that have that, you got the first resurrection of the Nation of Islam, and that's the people that was the followers of Elijah Muhammad. Some of those were now in their 60s, 70s, 40s, But anyway, this document showed up around in the first of the year, so we actually got this document because certain things came out, and those particular members after Wallenstein Muhammad broke up the nation, and all this, a lot of this particular information was scattered all over the country that people had. So he predicted both AIDS and cloning on this particular information, and we just now get this particular information back. And our brother from the first resurrection brought that forth. So we have that particular information for the people that need it, for the people that need it, and some other things also too. But we also have that list of various deities. Now, like I'm saying now, we have a whole wealth of things because now we're asking for people to go back and study Greek philosophy because we now find out that the original Greeks were called the Etruscans, and the Etruscans were black people. And so you got the Etruscans, and they started both Greece and Rome. They started the language, they started the mythology, and they started the whole culture. And what it is, you got the Indo-European came down, they taught them how to speak. And basically they became the custodians of Greek culture. And it's just about like the Native Americans now. And then you would also have the white man here now. You see what I'm saying? Or the Arab in Egypt now. Or in Kemet now. So we know now that we have been neglecting the Greekness because we had the battle between that whole Afrocentric thing where we had to just rescue Africa from Greece, with the whole thing in the late 80s, early 90s. Which, even with George M. James stolen legacy from back then, and your stuff with Mark Bernard. But now what it is, we find out that we have neglected the actual mythology is black. And even in the Syrian mystery, Temple Syrian mystery, there's a document in there where even Herodotus, which was the father of history, of white history or whatever the deal is, said that not only did he say that the Egyptian the gods of Greece came from Kemet, Mount Olympus fell, and we'll get into the science on that, they fled to Egypt. So we know that Mount Olympus has to be Atlantis and Lemuria. So, you know, in Egypt is Mount Hotep, in Greece is Mount Olympus, in Christianity it's Mount Olives, Mount Zion, Mount Manu in India, which is talking about an advanced civilization, an advanced frequency. So we have that particular, so we're telling people to recall that information or actually get back into those particular Greek myths. Because at this particular time, one thing about the white boy. The white boy, we are sectarians. Though we the Nation of Islam, we this, we Hebrews, we all this all cut up shit. And the white boy stand back and say, hey, we study it all. That's one thing about white people now, they study it all. That's how they rule you. Because they don't just get into the sectarianism because we're such cultural people and we don't understand that it all came from us. And that's the key at this particular time. Another thing we have to understand also in the piece of the puzzle, even with the particular scholars, or especially the metaphysical ones that's out now, the ones that preceded what is called the Afrocentric movement, because that's basically dead now. You know that we came from Egypt and all that kind of stuff, you know, and the trip up the Nile, and you know, and now we're going into another thing what they call it the occult sciences, which is the advanced thing, the mystery. We understand that everything is relevant. That's the key. That's the key when you talk about quantum physics is whenever you say, no, this is, if you mention one particular truth, you miss the whole point. Everything is relevant. So the new world always is relevant. You understand what I'm saying? The spiritual realm is relevant. The technical realm is relevant. And when you start saying, no, I'm going to get into that sectarian box, you end up messing up. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the way the doggone powers that be are dealing with this thing. They deal with it all. They deal with it all. You hardly ever see them where they don't, where they might say, oh, I'm just this, or I'm just a Hebrew, or I'm just Islam. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I just deal with meditation, or I just deal with, they deal with everything because we understand that in the ancient world, you initiated into the mystery system. And they had a multiple system that could raise you to illumination and you become to your God self or the Godhead. But we know that the ancient world is in fragments now, it's shattered. So to get one little piece, you understand what I'm saying? Which means you got a piece, but it's only a fragment. So now we have to scrape up everything, and now we got to understand that everything is relevant. You see? In this particular realm of science, we're not talking about oak and all that old bullshit, you know. But everything is relevant, you know what I'm saying? And so therefore, Steve Kirk is relevant, Delbert Blair is relevant, Reverend Valentine is relevant, Brother Shakir is relevant. Everybody is, you understand what I'm saying? That's called the chaos field. And once you box it in a certain cage, it's over. You kill the energy. All of it is relevant at this particular time because we are at a critical point where we can't just be sitting up here saying, you know, well, I want to know who to follow. Because we don't supposed to be followers at this particular time. That's for the masses of people. You understand what I'm saying? That's for the masses of people. So the masses of people, the Nation of Islam, is for them. You see what I'm saying? The Hebrew Israelites is for them. The Moors is for them. But you're supposed to be more advanced now, that you're supposed to be beyond that. To follow. He who knows one book knows none. There's no religion higher than truth. You see, and that's what we're dealing with this particular time. It's got to be a certain amount of priests, scientists, priests. You see what I'm saying? They don't get into, because if you understand any of the esoteric versions, Sufism, Kabbalistic, Gnosticism, ancient Hemmitt, Austrianism, which you call the Druids, you'll understand that the exoteric religion, Christianity, Islam, and you know the exoteric thing, it can differ based on culture. But the esoteric, they all have one common ground: illumination. That's the key. You see? That's the key. So we're talking about what the priests learn now, and that's what we have to deal with at this particular time. And also, we have to always work at neutralizing the ego, because that's the main thing that we're fighting against. What we're going to deal with tonight also, let's get the libations going. Let me get the list out. And what we're going to deal with tonight is information coming from one of the chief people of the Illuminati, which is advanced occultists, which is George Lucas, Mark Hamill, and the whole Star Wars crew, which is real deal shit. That's why they came out with the new trilogy and the movies, it was in the movies and the new thing, the 20-year anniversary, because it is critical at that particular time that some things that happened. And so it's some real awful things that happened, and I've just been revealed it, so therefore we're going to get into that tonight also too. So I'm talking ahead of myself. Let me get the libations going, and then we can go from there to get the energy. Now I'm going to have to take a couple of piss breaks because I've been drinking. Because I got up 6 o'clock, so I had to drink, I had to get pumped up, so I had to drink the coffee, drink a whole lot of water, drink a lot of water and stuff, you see, so I can feel awake. So, you know the deal. We don't deal with stuff we're beyond being cool, with scruples and all that kind of stuff that divide us. We talking family members now, so I take a couple of piss breaks, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the deal is, because I'm drinking a lot of water. So we can't show our girls to each other. We do, because this is all we have now. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the key about being humble at this particular time, is not really caring about how you look before people. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the whole society is, and that's called a postmodern society. You see what I'm saying? In the book, The People of the Secret, in that book there's a whole chapter in there on how America, the empire changed, which is America, and it's more advanced, but it's lacking in spirituality because everything is based on how things look. So at this particular time, we shouldn't have no scruples. And I think that the last 140 years of education has actually ruined us. The miseducation has actually ruined us. We were an innocent people, and now we have become, with what you call that whole British mentality and that royal stink, that the same slave masters or the colonizers, we have that now. So there's no innocence among us. You see what I'm saying? Because we were too busy trying to not look ghetto. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, we have become the same cold beast. You see, that's messed up the Nigeria. You see what I'm saying? That messed up the brothers from the island. That messed us up in the educational structure. You know what I'm talking about. That cold robot type of entity that they have created. And that's one of the goals in the indoctrination that they're trying to do. So at this particular time, let's get the libations going. And then I might go libate myself. Also, I have that Christ ritual. I have a Christ ritual. And I suggest that, that's Xerox copies. So when you get them, you're supposed to go and Xerox them. And hell, if you, sell them for yourself. Hell, Xerox is a 5,